Alright, let me know how this is, y'all. Okay. The latency on the combined chat in here is pretty significant because my testing thing just showed up. But hopefully I'll be able to see people late at least, because that's better than nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and start on this. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be very boring for the villain run. We can get more creative elsewhere, but I going to use my children, specifically the team I built. Okay. Careful there, Dilly. I almost got annoyed until I saw who it was. How you doing, man? These fights are a little longer, so I may be a bit slower to respond to chat, but I will do my best, just as a heads up. Nice, Warrior. Congrats. Thanks, John. Glad it went well for you, or at least it sounds like it did. Hey, Hilgen. Don't you do that to me. It's bad. Hey, Jason, how's it going, man? Never watched the full Deathless team? Or never played the full Deathless team? They're very fun in Necropolis. That's obviously what they were built for. But I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. If you have them available and you haven't done that run, I would highly recommend it. For those who don't know and are watching, I designed this character, Deathless She-Hulk, as well as Deathless Thanos, who has the synergies that really make them tick. But my coworkers designed the other three champions, who I also enjoy, and I think we'll probably find some use for somewhere in here. Someday? Yeah. Oops, that's what happens when I read chat instead. But that should be fine. I thought I was able to dex out of that. Alright. Yep, fate is heavy. There's our grip. Why do we need that, warrior? Honestly, I'd argue that slow has been a little problematic looking back in tying the two together. I don't think I'd want to create a buff that hits both. Alright, this might do it. Nope, not quite. We don't have any physical vulnerabilities up. That was probably part of the issue. Thanks, and congrats on your rank 5s. Those are cool. Sorry, I'm just checking in on Twitch as well on the side. I think I'm watching it myself alone, which is fine. But just seeing how the quality is there. May have to see if I can up the bitrate. I think their maximum is a little higher. Hey, Driz. Oh, going back to the question from DK, can I check if we'll be able to pre-complete? I mean, it's the way all the others have worked. I don't expect us to go after it now. My rank 5? I don't know. At this point, I'm waiting for the gems. Like, I can take somebody up with catalysts. But I would like to wait and see how the gems go first, so that I don't end up with, like, 3 of one class or something. And I might still end up with 3 of one class, but I'd like to improve my odds a little bit, you know? Buddy. Whoops. That's so rude. Hey, Black Hole. This is an incredible amount of evading for having class advantage. Very uncool of Mr. Red here. I did that. I should have used the special there when I pushed him over. But this will work. Being very stingy. I also remembered that this vision is, I'm pretty sure, a rank 2. It's part of why this is taking a little bit longer. Oh, the special. But alright. Yeah, Dark Phoenix is nuts for Coliseum. Absolutely. Whoa, what the? My monitor just decided it was going to sleep. Streaming has always, like, kept it from doing that before. That's a new one. I have to check some settings. I'm glad you're enjoying Paviter. He is rank 2, isn't he? Oh, you can't tell anymore. That's right. I know they'll fix that, but it's very annoying. Alright, if we want the reliable crits here, then we're gonna go with Thanos. I think he has the highest crit rate, actually. Oh, I was dumb. That's okay. We heal just fine. Not gonna lie, wasn't expecting to get hit by the end of that. Come on, Daisy. Excuse me. Yep. I figured I was getting hit that one. regen. That's my boy. Refresh that armor shatter, get that going. Oop. I dropped the block too quickly. A little bit of regen. That was silly. Come here. Thank you. Evening, Darkness. How's it going? Thanks for switching over, Titan. Let me know if the video is stable enough for you. I've been told to be careful with bit rates on Twitch, but I can try turning it up a little bit if it feels like it's not as smooth as YouTube. But thank you, I appreciate you. Okay, and that showed up in my combined chat, but that's fine. I'll deal with that part later. Thanks, BT, I'm glad you're enjoying it. As usual, a bit of a team effort. Curious what your day-to-day looks like at Kabam, if it's okay to ask. Mostly champion design. Do I normally work on other things? I do work on other things. It's kind of a combination of, at this point, I'm a senior designer, and so like once you're at that level, you're expected to be doing more than just like the thing on the title card, so to speak, right? Like, so I do more than just champion design, but that's not unique to me, right? Like, the other seniors are also handling things like that. Like, I do work with the engineers on the AI side of things. As you've heard before, we're continuing to work on it. That is true. Um, I help out some of the other teams on like content and stuff. Like I'm not the primary designer for Alliance War Tactics or incursions or any of that kind of stuff, but I do consult pretty heavily on them. I'm in a lot of playtests, including the Coliseum playtests. I'm in design reviews and playtests for other champions. Like a fairly typical day probably looks something along the lines of like I log in, I work for a little bit on my own. Maybe I'm doing some coding of a character I'm working on. If I'm further along in the process, maybe I'm doing the boring stuff like updating their info page. Maybe I'm building Easter eggs, right? Like something along those lines. I'm probably checking some Slack messages to consult on some other kinds of things, like conversations about the Karina's challenge, right? That's the kind of thing that happens on Slack during the workday. And then, like, I'm thinking about, like, on a Wednesday, we have, like, a meeting where the team gets together and we chat about, like, it's not just meta planning, but, like, that meeting is specifically, like, hey, did anybody in the process of designing their characters decide that actually we felt like they should be targeted at a different part of meta? Like we were looking at, oh, this character was going to counter miss, but actually that wasn't great for their targets, and I feel like we're going to switch them over to countering evade, like that kind of thing. We talk about that together, and then like maybe I'll get a little bit more work done than like lunch break. And then it'll be something like, okay, maybe somebody scheduled a design review. So we'll talk about their character and it'll be all on paper at that point, right? And then the next few hours will be like a play test and we'll go through a few different people's content and work on all of it in like device or on PC or something. Um, yeah, Wednesdays are complicated days. So like then after that, I have a meeting with the engineers to talk about some of the things that I work with them on, and then maybe we'll like have another meeting where we'll talk about like, okay, What are some things that we could build into the code to let us do new cool design stuff, right? Yeah, it is a lot of meetings, but I guess like the further up the chain, the more you do run into that adage of like, oh, this is too many meetings. But at the same time, I do feel fairly lucky that like almost none of the meetings I'm in could have been emails. Overwhelmingly, when we're in a meeting and we're using time that way, it's because we actually need to hash things out. We actually need to collaborate with each other in real time, talk things out. We need to play test, something along those lines. So I spend a lot of time in Google Meets, but I feel productive for the most part. And sometimes you work on the side. I've talked for long enough, but hopefully that was what you were looking for. Yeah, we'll do more corrosion. We built it for cosmics, right? Um, it doesn't fit for everybody, and like it, not all cosmics have wanted to be dot champions. What was this for? Oh, right, she has a neutralize. It's not a super strong neutralize, but let's try that. I like Deathless Key. And she scales really well with this stuff. Okay. Yeah, I definitely am gonna have to mess with my power settings or something. Because my screen just went down again. Whoops, that was my fault. Yeah, she's cooking. I need to get her up to rank 3 at some point. I like Death's Guillotine. They're being significantly stingier today than they were for the hero run the other night. I'm also running into them and doing dumb stuff like that, but you know, that's not. I was doing some of that. Nice, Hayden. Whoops. Thankfully that one's on activation. Where she would have gotten unstoppable in the middle of that special one. I don't know what happened with my fingers there. Ooh, that was a big healing proc. I know that's how that goes. And she's got, like, these are really good crits for a rank 2. But I was still surprised to see that go up, what was that, like 15% in one? Because we're not getting any boost besides what the team gives us. Not gonna lie, I probably overtuned the extension on her souls based on the opponent's health. But I had no idea how to really... It was weird math to do, and I kinda eyeballed it. It's fine, it makes her fun in long form, and it requires the full team, so I shouldn't worry about it. But I probably did more than was necessary. What would be the best thing to get from the Deadpool shop as a free-to-play player? Struggles with long-form content due to the amount of rank ups and awakenings. Probably just the rank up gems, honestly, in that case. That's most of what I got, personally. I don't really do videos on that stuff, but let me go show you. So, first off, I did spend, I usually do for these things, but I'll just show you real quick. Like, I grabbed this because I wanted the tier, I wanted both of these things, so it was a pretty easy grab for me. This is one of the best, like, long-term things, because that's a lot of really valuable resources, probably not where the free-to-play focus is. If you can get... I don't think you can. I forget. Maybe. No, you can probably get there. Like, the deadlift, the 3 to 4 gem is really good, right? If you feel like you are able to get 1 to 2s and 3 to 4s, that's probably, I would grab one of those, because that's just really valuable. If you can't, okay, I'm going to have to go deal with my power settings sooner rather than later. It's being dumb. Or if you're like, no, I just need characters above rank 1 to do stuff, I'm fine if they're rank 3, then something like a couple of these might make sense. Maybe round it out with something like this. What awakenings do you feel like you need to ask that question? And to bide myself some time while I open power settings. Alright, we're just going to briefly turn that to never, and I will leave this up so I come back to it. Nice, Duke. I hope you enjoy Blue Marble. Hey, Cyber. No, you're not late. I was just looking at something else for a minute. He's got enough power gain that we shouldn't need to worry about the special 3 here. We just need to not spam decks and get hit for no reason. Alright. Oh, that's weird. Why is the grit buff not getting fate sealed? I know the Abyss Fate Seal is weird in general. It was also bypassing immunity, but like... That's odd. Hopefully the same fix that fixes the other thing fixes that, though. It was at least filtered out by it there. It's weird. Pardon. Great. It's enough. Okay, this is probably just also Deathless Guillotine. Imagine trying to use somebody else here. Maybe I should have ranked 3'd her for this. Put a relic on. Ah, that's okay. I don't use her frequently enough for that to be particularly important. And this is Necropolis where relics actually help. I really despise her animations. Animations are so toxic. Oh my god. We were so close to finishing her with just a blocked combo, and then she's like, alright, time for a sidestep. So toxic. Oh. Oh, nice, Hilgen, that's cool. Yeah, EQ is 100%. I agree. Who am I planning on using for epic villains? I don't know. I haven't actually planned any of that out yet, Titan. I probably should have used King Groot here. That would have been cool. But I hit the button on Thanos already. We can use King Groot on Iron Man. No, Thanos will be so much better for that. That's fine, I'll find something to use King Groot on. Yeah, I feel bad for King Groot, I know. Also, good lord, did Thanos wreck this. Nah, I'm gonna give it a go. If it's painful, it's painful, but... Like, he should be hitting like a truck here. Oh, that's right, I have to go straight Fury, or straight Heavies to get to his special one with enough. That's on me. Alright, now we should be fine. Nothing quite turns off this node like permanent armor breaks. Alright, one more special one and then we can start cooking. Also note, mine's a pretty low sig King Groot, and we got tagged early, and we are very healthy. Dude still does his healing. That was such an annoying evade. I am not crushing the reparries today. Not gonna lie. Alright, here comes the power gain. Undermine, baby. Legitimately forgot he had that for a minute earlier in the fight. Ah. No, it is new, Jude. I honestly don't even know if the rest of you have it yet, but employees are trialing it. It's not perfect, but yeah, we're working on improvements. For me personally, like the things that we've already passed along to the rest of the team is that you need to be able to see rank and rarity here. That's just not negotiable. Challenge rating has to be here too, in my opinion. And I think it's fine to have tags, but they should be at the bottom below the short strings, which is what these like bleed stun things are called. I also think that if you click on the ability list, it should just take you to the attacker or the defender info respectively, because that's intuitively what it used to do. There's some cool things in here, but it's not ready yet. jerk. That's worth another special too. Once he gets 2 of the energizes, it just starts getting annoying. No, I'm sorry, Artek. Unfortunately, that alliance has pretty much disbanded at this point. Kind of ran out of people to lead it. Very grateful for the work that Easy put in, but when he was done, nobody else really had time. There are some good groups, but I think that one's probably done for now, sadly. I just realized there's a chance we time out. This dude has so much more health than I remembered. Like, Gen's exponential, so, like, we should be okay here, but I was kind of surprised how much health he had left. I was about to ask if he had crit resist, and then I remembered I think there's a chance that everyone in Abyss does. It's like from that era of design where it's very possible. I'll have to check after this one. It's him capping our burst damage on crits isn't helping here. Stop it with the weaknesses, Joe. Those ones I'm gonna get rid of right away. Oh, you jerk! Classic old school Abyss there. Evading right before the special. Okay, I'm gonna push to special 2 here. Or to, I mean, I'm gonna go up to special 3 and remove his buffs. Stop it with the weaknesses. Yeah, because he has Fate Seal as one of his random buffs. And even if it hasn't been particularly common, that just harshes Thanos enough to not be worth it, in my opinion. But good question. That is, of course, assuming that the Fate Seal works, which I don't know if it does. I know you can remove it with the heavy, but I just don't want to lose all 8 of my Furies in one go. Hey, what do you know, Max? Or, oh, never mind, not Max. What Max was. Well, we didn't get it down the first set of charges, although literally if we had crit one more time, I think we would have. What was I gonna look at? Oh yeah. Alright, be patient with me for a second. We can go ahead and move while this loads. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hyperion, blah, 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 blah. Where's Joe? I know he's in here. Yep. Okay. Yep, I knew it. I knew I remembered that. It's possible some of my coworkers wouldn't want me telling you this, but for those of you who don't know, now you know. Everybody in Abyss has 10% more crit resist than they otherwise would. And sometimes that sucks. It's a base stat. Why would it be listed anywhere, Hayden? I mean, after all, the Collector did warn you that they're dangerous. That's enough, right? I'm being a little flippant, but, like, I do think that was legitimately what it came down to. Like, that back then the game was simpler enough that it was just viewed as something that made things harder. And wasn't necessarily an RPG mechanic that needed to be conveyed anywhere. Again with the Fate Seal being weird. I remember finding that out relatively early on in my time at Kabam because I was looking through just like who had crit resist. There aren't that many characters with it. I was just looking around and finding like random little characters that, in my opinion, had zero business having crit resist. That did. A lot of them are Broccoli's characters. Guillotine 2099 has crit resist. Mangog has crit resist. I think Mysterio has crit resist. Most of it's small amounts, but it's just enough to be annoying. I'm actually going to take a minute and see if I have the stuff to take Gilly up. She's proven her worth. I might as well. Okay, so it's literally just 8 of each of those. I can do that. So it seems, Aiden. I hope so, Aiden, because Challenger rating basically needs to be there. Alright, I've got one of these in stash. I might as well. Do we need it for Abyss? Absolutely not, but I like her. Cool. Let's go see how that feels. Okay, work. She's just a little bit bigger now. Really? None of the buffs? Oh, they're refreshing. Okay, so we're gonna have to clear them one at a time. That's fine. They're not getting through the neutrals. Unless he waits out the neutralize. Like that. Pardon. Yeah, well, crit resist will do that, won't it? Here come the buffs. But if I can stay on top of them, then it's MD, right? Maybe it's worth it. Pardon. I'm gonna need to get some water in a minute. Yeah, makes sense, work. You missed Joe, that took a while. Take care, TC. Have a good one. Well, refreshing the buffs doesn't bypass neutralize. It just doesn't interact with it. Because refreshing isn't activated, right? Starting to cook here. That's the rhythm I wanted. Jerk. I swear a fractured power bar would be nice on her. That's okay. I did want him to reactivate them. I want the... It's being so annoying. Floyd, I appreciate you. It is probably going to be an overpriced margarita at the Ren Fair outside of Austin tomorrow. So I much appreciate the help. Yeah, Madeline here sounds absolutely disgusting. That's cool. No, not sipping right now. I'm still getting over something, so like I'm past the point where I feel like I shouldn't drink at all. And the doctor would probably say I still shouldn't. But I had a little bit of whiskey earlier today, during the D&D session that I ran, but I am not having anything now. Alright, those crits are starting to get real. What a jerk. Okay, before I start this, which will be probably getting... Should I eat? I think I should probably use King Groot here again. Yeah, I think I'll do that. But I will be right back, because I need some water. So I will see you all in a second. Okay, I'm back. And yeah, I'm not boosting for this, Aiden, but I appreciate it. If you want to, Lord of Shadow. You want to give up your dailies, and the XP, and the units, and the revives. We're not stopping you. Okay. Let's do some heavies. Till the Furies come back. Whoops. I thought I had 10 permanent ones ready. That's fine. Alright, few more heavies. Now that's an incinerate. There we go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure it's actually worth pausing them. I think getting more Furies is probably the way to go now that we're this deep into the fight. Thanos has helped us out more. But I will pause if he's not letting us get to the special two. Hey, we hit the damage cap. Nice. Yeah, just getting more Furies is absolutely the way to go. You saw our burst during the special too when we had 8 Furies hit the damage cap of 85,000, and just then with no Furies, it was only 14k each hit. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Yeah. Magneto has absolutely committed some sins to answer for. You're allowed to dislike Domino. She is not even the same class of problem as Magneto. There's almost nothing in common between them. Domino has built-in respect for the class wheel. Magneto has built-in disrespect for the class wheel. Y'all didn't expect me to back work, did you? Oh, sorry, 1 second. I just noticed this pausing. Titan asked if the stream dropped over on Twitch. Let me go check. Okay, I see the pause, so I think it's probably on his end. If anybody else is on Twitch as well, let me know. I'm gonna keep going for now. Alright, that's fine. She'll heal it back. Thanks, Clouds. Appreciate the check-in. And welcome. I don't know if you also watch on YouTube, but I don't recognize your name off the bat. AMSD. You missed Vision earlier. He did well. But for a rank 2. And so he is getting used less than the others. Oh, that's unfortunate. I let that go. Alright, I'm just gonna flip this. Power control correctly worries you, Duke, but I think Doom has always been correctly understood as strong, but largely misunderstood as to why. His power control is very, very good, and that is a huge part of the equation. Fully agree. But a lot of people focus too much on his damage and his his auto nullify and the unblockable, all of which are good, and do not pay enough respect to his base stats. Despite having 2 giant Furies, despite having all of that utility, he has one of the highest attack values in the entire game. He has the highest crit resist stat in the game by a large margin. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of characters that just cannot crit against Doom at all without the aid of masteries.
a bunch who can't crit against him even with masteries. He has one of the highest armor ratings in the game. It is not subject to disruption as an armor up effect, right? It's just built into his base stats. He is immune to armor break, so you can't answer it that way. And that part makes some sense for class reasons, right? But he should not have that armor if you're not allowed to interact with it, in my personal opinion. And his health pool is slightly smaller than normal, but not nearly enough to compensate for all of that. The reason that Doom was spammed in Alliance War as consistently and for as long as he was not his power control. It was not his damage. It was not even his synergy with power backs with his power control, right? Like, those were the videos you would see people put on YouTube, and he was really good at that. That was not what most people were doing, right? I've talked about this before, but if you look at the performance data for characters, for the most part, when a character is used more, right? When the instances of that character showing up in fights goes up, their win rate goes down, right? Because the more people are using a character, the more likely you are to have, bluntly, people who are not as good at the game, but also people who are not as familiar with that character, because not everybody's familiar with everybody. And so, if somebody is used everywhere, you expect their win rate to go down. If a character is used everywhere and their win rate doesn't go down, that is an indication that they are overpowered. This is one of the reasons that we are confident that Hercules actually is that bad, no matter how many people tell us, yeah, he's fine. He's fun. But Doom in Alliance War was another one of those. And I am confident it was not because a bunch of people were playing him the way you were seeing in YouTube highlight reels. It's because the dude just didn't die. Which, TLDR, what works it? Dude's a unit. Hey, Marcus. Commenting. Nope, just joined on Twitch. Nice. Yeah, happy to have you here. If you've never watched me before, and that's the first one of my rants you've seen, I hope you liked it. There's more where that comes from. And she's back to full. Her healing is so good. If not better is a wild qualifier there, Warrior. It's so weird seeing the Primal Fury call-out show up being the color of the Unstoppable and then nothing happen. I understand why it happens. Very annoying. Yeah, I believe we said that. The plan is that you will need everybody to get Doom, similar to the Deathless with Thanos.
don't know if I should say this, but I will. I am not Floyd. Y'all are in good hands, don't worry. But I had other stuff to work on. Archangel and Magneto are very problematic, yeah. Like, when I say somebody is problematic, I'm not saying they definitely won't come anytime soon, right? Um, what I mean when I say they're problematic is that, like, basically just that they are problematic, right? Like, at the end of the day, this is not a game that needs to be perfectly even. There's enough skill differences, there's the spending component, there's the like ongoing march of roster progression now with Ascension. There are characters that are very difficult to release even with a significant power lag. But at some point, most characters do come out, right? So I'm not saying never. But yes, I do think Doom is still very strong. I do think Archangel is still very, very strong in a largely uninteractable way. And I still agree with Work that Magneto doing what he does in an uninteractive way, punching directly backwards against the glass wheel, is very problematic. That's not a comment on whatever the releases will be. That's just me commenting on design, right? And I am on the record as saying that, like, some of my designs are problematic too, right? As I've said before, Kate's Cold Snap should be weaker. We goofed there. Hey, Sam, how's it going, man? Oh no, wait, Jen is bad here. Okay. That's fine. I just won't use the special 2. Yeah, we're 100% gonna need the debilitates. Be nice, Sim. I'm doing my best here. The new capture card is off on color, yes. This is the result of 3 filters trying to color correct it, but I know it's not perfect. I really wish settings would just transfer. And I didn't have to reinvent the wheel every time I got new tech, but such is life. I don't know why I didn't throw another special one there. Whatever, this works. Just out of the habit of throwing special ones with her, I think. That's on me. We are having decent crit luck, though. That's nice. Boy. Not cool, Scott. Not cool. I really thought that was gonna kill. That did. Alright. Jesus. Shouldn't have said that out loud. Just in case. Okay. Feeling something at the moment. I'm for my squad and all up your stream. Nice. Thanks, MZ. Yeah, fair enough, Cloud. I will say, if you go check out my hero stream, that one's still on YouTube. I did manage to solo him with North Star, which was pretty fun. I'm 100% going to be using probably Thanos for... I'm probably not going to try for the solo here, because I just don't know that it's worth it with this team. I'm probably going to be using Thanos for the first half of it, and then once I just start hitting too hard and triggering the Unstoppable, I'll go back to She-Hulk, because she's got the grit. We'll see. I was gonna say, oh, I'll just go up to the special 3, and then I remembered that's probably not gonna happen because of his stupid power drain. I hate this fight. Yeah, I moved too soon. There we go. That's the silliest way to avoid the degen, is for him to sidestep me. And then hit me, giving me power. Whatever, I'll take it. Thanks, MSD. I mean, realistically, North Star did a lot of the work. I don't know that I was doing, or that I was having to do all that much on my own. But still appreciate it. There was a little creativity at the end when I didn't want to block too much of the specials. Stupid crit resist. If this team had been aimed at Abyss and not Necropolis, I think there's a very good chance that I would have gotten fed up enough to go. And also, all of the Deathless reduce the opponent's crit resist by 10% flat, because... Lord, would that make a difference. Excuse me. Yeah, I think the 10th anniversary challenges are probably still worth it. Those are recent enough. And I think easy enough and fun enough is kind of the other side of it, right? Like, there's a sliding scale to Karina's challenges with, like, how much the rewards have dropped off versus how much their actual content as opposed to a hoop to jump through, if that makes sense. Okay. Thanos boosts his own ability accuracy, so I think that's the one to use here. He also is mostly specials, and a lot of the other stuff isn't interactable. The counterpunch isn't offensive. That's not subject to it. We're basically just looking at the chants that our armor shattered can fail if we do it by actually landing a heavy, but if we do it by canceling a heavy into a special, then that shouldn't either, so this should be totally fine. Alright, now we go to the special through. Did I specify that it's only if you cancel into a special 1 or a special 2? I probably did. Well, that'll work. Yeah, I think Thanos is going to rank 5 one way or another. We'll just see what the other gems are like. He's just so satisfying. He's an absolute monster when he's punching down. That's fine. That's on me. I've said this before, so I'll risk saying it again. There was a draft at one point for Deathless Thanos where his pause was all personal effects. I think you can see where that would go with the special 2. Was not a good idea. Dropped it pretty quickly. Oops. But it was a pretty exciting playtest. Okay. This is 100% Thanos again, I think. Or, yeah. Yeah, because Jen takes too long to break the shield. It wasn't that bad with Blue Marvel because his actual hits are big, but hers aren't. Yeah. I don't think the Unstoppable got paused, actually. Or maybe it just wasn't there yet. I think it was like buffs and debuffs got paused, maybe? That sounds like it. But it was the corrosion as well as the Furies. And it was too much. Sue, please. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think I had built a stack limit yet when I tested that, so I like very quickly got to about 20 or so, and then I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. Sometimes you gotta try stuff in playtesting. It's not very nice, Sue. Well, neither Pavita nor Nico actually get around it,
right? Like, Paviter only does in the sense that he has burst damage, but so do a lot of people, right? Like, technically, Shocker is like a counter to his protection. Nico just waits it out. Vigor in a kit doesn't counter protection, Aiden. Not since the rework. That's part of the reason for the rework. Because protection is not supposed to be countered additively like that. Animations come first, but you're supposed to be starting to think about abilities when you're in the process of looking at the animations and talking to the art team. So, like, we make a point to do our meta planning meeting for characters before brainstorm. How dare you dex my freaking nullify hit? It's not very cool, man. I'm not going to play with the special threes. For those of you who saw the hero stream, that was the one death I had, was when somebody got pushed to special 3. Not doing that again. Yeah, we definitely could do something with protection duration, but I don't think it would be soon, because most protection effects are indefinite at the moment. And it'd be kind of silly to waste that bullet hitting just Thanos when there are other ways around him. But maybe in the future. For the most part, I don't think that that's really going to be how we go about it, though. Protection is kind of intended to more be a you play by these rules mechanic. And with Thanos, the rule is basically like, if you come for the king, you best not miss, right? You one-shot him or you don't. That was a nice big special, too. Alright, give me some buffs to eat, Cole. I wish I could claim the credit for that being, like, why the mechanic is there, Alejandro, but yeah.
Sometimes flavor wins aren't completely deliberate. And I can admit that. I mean, it was kind of indirectly what we were going for, right? Because in some of the early playtests, I got the comment that, like, hey, I'm glad you're not doing, like, a bunch of exotic roadblock defender things. It's cool that he's answered by a lot of existing mystics. However, he's probably too easily nuked. So I was like, alright, I gotta come up with a way to keep him from getting nuked. And I'm honestly quite happy with what I did come up with. It's not absolute, you can nuke it, but... yeah, flavor win. Nice when that happens. I mean, part of the reason that relics are champion statues, Warrior, I'm going to be completely honest and, like, fourth wall breaking, is that Kabam saw how this community reacted to true gear in Marvel Realm of Champions. And, like, sure, we probably could have done it another way, right? But also, like, I think there was one point where we mentioned relics, and the forums, like, erupted with, oh my god, no, you cannot bring gear to this. Gear is what ruins every other game. How dare you? And so we were like, okay, well, guess we're not doing that, right? And so, like, basically anything that was weapon or armor related or anything that looked like gear was probably just not going to happen. It could have been cool. I'm sure there was design space for us there. But yeah, if people don't want gear, then what we got is kind of more what's possible. Alright. Let's give this big jerk a run. You jerk. Nah, no worries, Aiden. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, let's refresh. Nope! I guess let's not refresh some of those Furies. That was my fault. Because this guy, it makes sense to stack it. Sure, why not? This freaking guy. Hey, buddy, do you mind? Mega, how's it going, man? Well, the armor shattered stuck around, but not the armor break, which is, unfortunately, exactly what you don't want to happen. But that's alright. Let's just keep the Genesis up and keep the healing going. That was my fault. And I came out of it early. His combat power rate is so dumb. That was my fault. Honestly, 65% off, I'll take it. Oh my god, buddy. The evade of the knockdown is so mean! I did exactly what he asked me to do. I worked my way up to a special. There was a time when I had the, like, very near the full decks of the Special 2 down. Don't care to be that fancy right now.
Yep.
There go my furies. I don't know why I thought that light was a heavy. Oh, I never dare dex the special one either. Sometimes my thumb decides that it wants to be stupid. I got some work in. Vision's gonna do absolutely nothing. Pretty sure he already has the mist protection up. I know what it was. It wasn't that I thought that that was... Its light was his heavy early. It's when he goes back to his idol and he flies again. That's what caught me. Oh, nope, you can still miss. It's just the specials. Silly me, I forgot. And he's like, what if I just evaded out of there anyway? That didn't feel like fair combos there. Hey, Kadinsky. Nice. I like to hear about people in the family playing. That's very cool. Who are you planning for your first ring 5? Get neutralized. Sit still, you geriatric. That would have been the better insult. Genocidal geriatric. Hindsight. Whoops. And there goes our neutralize, so he's going to go unstoppable when we hit him next time. Yep, that's fine too. That's really funny work. Crossbones? That's cool, Sniper. Nice, Punjabi. He's probably from a little further south than that, but... I'm sure he'd know the songs. It's on the stream right now, God of War. Unstoppable cannot counter reversal. The other three, if left open, can, yes. Nice, Punjabi, yeah. I said earlier, I'm almost certainly taking Thanos up. Okay. I have no team revives in Overflow, so I'm not gonna bother. I think Thanos probably just triggers the unstoppable too much. Like, Guillotine might actually be the best workhorse at this point. Why did I do that? Yep. It's such a... Let me just use a Power Start 1 boost. Yeah, no, I will try Gen again, but... Why did I do that? Okay. Okay. You... Alright. Thanks, cream cheese. Good thing I ranked her. Oh, that's a rank 4 Deathless Guillotine. We need Na here for the Deathless Guillotine meme. Yeah, she did well. That neutralize, absolutely putting in work. Very cool. I guess I have another... Do I have 2 of those gems now? Yeah. Prowler one probably makes sense then. Maybe the Doom one that's on Chavez. Those are both very good. Yeah, let's stick to the duped ones for prestige. Hero or deal team? It's not looking like anything because I haven't done any of the planning yet, to be perfectly honest. But, spoilers, I will probably try and use as many of my own champions as I possibly can. And it's like, I'm not going to pretend there's no actual ego in it. It is fun. But a large part of it is just because, like, I've played this content enough, both on the live server and in playtesting, that it's kind of fun to put those little restrictions on it and see how it works out. Which other one did I say? The Doom one? No, actually, I'm going to do the Magneto one, because even if it doesn't stay on Gentle, that's just such a good relic for a lot of... Yeah, villains definitely have the RPG advantage in Ordeal right now. Feels like it's significantly easier to put a team together. And yeah, either Serpent or Apocalypse can be a large part of that. All right, not quite at 37k, but we're getting there. Which means that when I do take a rank 5 up, that'll probably do it. Yeah, I think I'm just... Yeah, it's a matter of which tier 6 class catalyst I have. Hey, Magnus, how's it going, man? Yeah, I enjoy Ordeal. I'm looking forward to it. I will just be out of town for the next few days. So you probably won't... Yeah, you won't see me streaming while I'm there. Um, but I'll be back on Wednesday, so I'll probably catch up on Wednesday night, and I'll be probably doing the Ordeal while everybody else is finishing up the challenge or doing 9.4. But it is what it is. Yeah, fair enough, Omega. This is coming along fun, though. And I do still, like y'all saw, I have 3 rank 4 gems sitting in the inventory that I can use. So if I run into, like, feeling like I need somebody, they can go up. One might go to Jonah. I'll see if I end up wanting to bring him, but I'm going to try and plan it with just my own first, like I said. Anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out. This is the first time I've ever streamed on Twitch, let alone dual streamed, so thank you all for at least 8 of you right now hanging out with me over there. Appreciate you. And I hope to see you